Okay, real talk. PCOS is a mess. And if you're watching this, I am sure you're also tired of that lose some weight advice. Don't worry, I got you. Namaskar. I am Arpithanjali, a doctor and a passionate content creator, and also a PCOS warrior. I was diagnosed in my final year of med school because of what? Stress, deadlines, and a lifestyle which was an absolute crime scene. As a final year medical student, I knew what I should be doing to fix my PCOS. But did I do it? Of course not. Like every other medical student going through their exam, my priorities were also pass, survive, repeat. So obviously my PCOS got worse. At one point, I didn't get my periods for 150 plus days straight. 6 months. I know. Trust me, I was freaking out too. I finally decided enough was enough. While still interning in my internship, I made some basic but serious lifestyle changes. And within a month, I got my first periods in half a year. Nothing fancy, no crash diets, just science backed habits that actually worked. Now I know you probably heard of lifestyle thing before, but let's be honest. Have you tried? None of us actually tried. Get it. I get it. Our generation needs just more than random advices. We need what, why, and how. What is the problem? Why is it happening? And how can we fix it? And that's exactly what we're going to do today. Let's start with first part. What even is PCOS and why is it messing with our body? Alright, so what is PCOS? Is it PCOS causing irregular periods or irregular periods causing PCOS? The chicken and egg situation no one asked for. PCOS, as you know, stands for polycystic ovarian syndrome, which actually sounds like one specific issue, but it's a whole hormonal opera. It's a complex disorder with multiple contributing factors like genetic, environment, or lifestyle influences. And yeah, I feel like I'm explaining my juniors just before their obs and gynec exam. But trust me, understanding how and what is affecting in our body will help us in fixing it. Okay? PCOS is primarily and majorly associated with first up, genetic predisposition. Let's say somebody in your family has metabolic disorders or PCOS, there are high risk of you ending with it. It's like an toxic inheritance you never signed up for. Second, we have chronic low-grade inflammation. It's just a fancy term for kind of internal irritation that lasts for very long time, which is not severe but not normal. Think of it like a tiny fire which actually never burns out, but is not that big enough to call for an alarm. Okay, so what does this do? When your body stays in a state of chronic, that is long-term, low-grade inflammation, body produces male hormones, androgens, specifically testosterone. Now, male hormones in female body are completely normal when in tiny amounts. But when they increase, that's when the problem begins. Why? Apparently, even our hormones believes in patriarchy. Testosterone takes over, messes with ovulation, and boom, irregular periods, acne, male pattern hair loss, and male pattern hair growth. Next, we have a royal couple, king and queen. King insulin resistance and queen hormonal imbalance. Now let's break down why they are ruling our body like a toxic power couple. Like patriarchy, first let's meet the king. Insulin is a hormone, which makes sense since he is married to hormonal imbalance. Duh. His job is simple. Take glucose from blood, send it to cells where it will be used as energy. Simple. But the moment king insulin resistance enters the chat, things take south. The body stops responding to insulin properly. Means the glucose cannot enter into the cell now. It's like when you keep knocking on a door and nobody responds. So what you do, you send more people to knock on the door, but it's still not opened properly. Now glucose just hangs out in the bloodstream, homeless, clueless. Now the pancreas, a tiny but a dramatic organ. Pancreas, panic button. Pancreas is a panic button that freaks out. Oh, there is less insulin. That is why there is less glucose in the bloodstream. Let's produce more. So in full panic mode, our pancreas overproduces insulin. Now we have two things overflooding in our blood. One, glucose, two, insulin. We'll see what happens with extra glucose and extra insulin. One, extra glucose. Our king insulin resistance, like a clingy ex, doesn't want to let it go. He holds on to it and asks his best bro, liver, to store it as fat. And boom, weight gain. Two, Extra insulin. Well, here's when things get real messy. Since King Insulin Resistance is a typical patriarch, actually orders ovaries to produce more and more male hormones. That is testosterone. Too much testosterone means ovaries forget their actual job. I mean, typical male behavior. Taking up space and letting women not do their job. And guess what? Side effects show up like his illegitimate kids, acne, male pattern hair loss, male pattern hair growth, and weight gain. Basically, a hormonal mess. As if that wasn't enough, King Insulin Resistance throws a boys' night out and calls for his dangerous toxic friends, which are the complications that develop if PCOS is not cured or not treated in the long term. That is type 2 diabetes, metabolic disorders, and cardiac disorders. Worst party ever, right? I know. Meanwhile, Queen Hormonal Imbalance wasn't even supposed to be there, but thanks to our king, she's now in charge. Because of excess testosterone, your female hormones get suppressed and leads to, you guessed it right, irregular periods. And just like that, your entire hormone balance is out of whack. So, yeah, in short, PCOS isn't just about irregular periods. It's a whole hormonal political drama starring King Insulin Resistance and Queen Hormonal Imbalance with his illegitimate sons and toxic best friends. Don't worry, there's a way to overthrow this toxic reign, which we'll be discussing in the next part. I'll tell you exactly how I did it with science backed simple habits. So hit that subscribe button and let's fix this together.